water into the sanctuary. This one.
I did not delete that one. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I am Cammie Horne, and I serve on the worship team here at 1U. So with me today in service is Reverend Kierstin Homblette Allen, our affiliate 1U minister, director of music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, the Malone family, and Rose Byler from the Board of Trustees. Was not expecting that, okay. We welcome all to join us as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment of lifelong spiritual growth and compassion and service to the community. We welcome you to worship together, all genders, sexualities, races, ages, abilities, economic class or political affiliations, clappers or non-clappers, believers or non-believers, or somewhere in between. May we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, transcendence, justice, and transformation. For more information about our congregation, congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. And today we have a special announcement about a question box service coming up. Have you ever wondered about the difference between a settled minister and an interim minister? Or what it means to be an affiliated minister or a community minister? Well, here's your chance to ask some of these questions and those similar and hopefully get some clarity. On Sunday, August 20th, next Sunday, Reverend Margalie and Reverend Judith, who worked with the UUA in the Ministerial Fellowship Department, will explore UU clergy titles and their significance with a little help from you. So come on and bring your questions. And then we have one final announcement. A reminder, only 4 weeks left before the Holly Near concert. So make sure you purchase your tickets now. And all other announcements are on the slides before and after service, and we have links in the weekly update or on the website. So if you would like to follow along with the service, please use the QR code shown in the monitor and on the first few slides. Thank you again for being here in person and online today.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you the light. Please follow along and say these words with me as Daniele and I light the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Perfect. Before one other announcement is when the children are sung out later, they will be meeting in the labyrinth area and then be proceeding to room 1 to paint, do painting. So, for your information. Now please remain seated for the special music, New Beginning, from folk artist Tracy Chapman, and of course, feel free to sing along if you already know this one. And for those of you joining in online, there will be a link to the video in the chat, and I believe there is also going to be a picture of the link on the page. So you can stream it at home, but we will not be playing it through the stream.
Good morning. I'm going to start by saying that Tracy Chapman was my first concert ever here at the Bob Carr in 9th grade. You can do the math about how old I am. I love her so much. So our call to worship today is adapted from the words of the Reverend Nathan Ryan, the senior minister of the Unitarian Church of Baton Rouge. Be it real or metaphor, whatever is in your backpack or your briefcase or your purse that you've brought into this sanctuary that is weighing you down, leave it behind. Whatever you are carrying that is keeping you distracted or caught up in shame or guilt or hopelessness, leave it behind. If you need it, it will be there when we're done. But for this hour, if you can, just let it go. Come into this place with open hearts. Come into this place with a soul that has remembered how to be tender again. Come into this place with a renewed hope for this world. Come into this place ready to build a world we've always been worthy of and have always dreamed of. Come, let us worship together. Now I'm going to encourage you to just take a moment to turn to somebody nearby to you and say good morning.
They're scary. Good morning. See, I did have blonde hair. So, school started this past week. How are we feeling about it? Everybody that's excited, go woo! Everybody that's disappointed, go woo! There were more whoos than ohs. This is good. How are you expecting this year to be different than last year? Anybody? Go ahead, Maya. Different, say it again. Different rules and a different schedule. Last year it was lunch and then recess, and this year it's recess and then lunch. Anybody else? This is important because you get hungry. Daniele says he went from playground to the field. Young one back there, yes. Oh, come. Can you help me, Cody? Yeah, the rules have changed that kids can't go out when it gets too hot outside. I'm going to go over here and then I'll come over there, okay? And then I'm going to come back to the plan. Go ahead, young one back there. I'm coming back just to hear you. Say that again? So it's exciting getting ready for new family going to school. And young one over here. All in new classes this year? Yeah. When you go to school, what do you carry with you? A lunchbox, a backpack, water, So these are all physical, they're tangible. It's something you can touch and move around, right? These are all tangible things that you carry. They're touchable, and we carry them with us to school and to work. And there's something else that our children and our teachers and our administrators are going to be carrying with them and that they need. What might that be? Food. Potty. Mm-hmm.
Jackets.
Yep, now.
Jackets.
It's on.
Okay, so, well, I was waiting to see if there were more responses.
True.
But something else, though, everyone needs, right? Especially the little ones at the beginning of the school year. They need our support. They need to know that there are friends and family and community there to help them when they need it. But most importantly, they need to feel that support. They need to feel that family, friends, and their community really support and love them.
So today, we're going to participate in a ritual to help you remember that you have love and support from this 1U family, this community. It's called a blessing, and a blessing is a bestowment of a gift. It's the assurance that a person has the support of another. So today, the congregation, that means all of you, here and y'all online, are going to reach out with your hearts and with your souls through word, through deed, through demonstration, to our students and our teachers and all the others starting new adventures. So they will know that this will be a transformative year, a year of learning and growth and change and beginnings. So we have another gift for you. You'll see is a tag for you to place on, attached to your backpack or your bag or wear around your neck, whatever works for you. And first we'll do the blessing of backpacks, and then we'll give out the tags. Words matter, folks. Let's use them. Are you ready? All right.
All right, so let's get ready for this blessing. If you're attending online, make sure you have your backpack or bag or briefcase, whatever it is that you use when you head out to face the world. Make sure you have that nearby. And also, for those online,
Speak louder, Reverend Margalie.
the mic is right at my mouth. See, like right there. I think you all might need to turn it up back there a little bit. See, like right there. So if those online, if you look at the picture on the screen, I believe you're seeing it also. If you are needing a blessing, extend your hand the way Linnea has it, extending outward. And the rest of us, and then you will be asked to do this too in the congregation, the rest of us online, you will put your hand facing outward as if you are bestowing a blessing. So when we start doing the blessing, keep those things in mind. Now we are inviting in the congregation all of our little children, the littlest ones, to come forward, come up here. If parents need to come up with you, come up with your backpacks or your bags or any of that good stuff. And then when you come up, if you are comfortable, we would like you to stand if you can and hold hands or make sure you're near someone. Or, obviously, you prefer to sit, so sit.
That's what they're used to.
All right, so yes. All little ones. And now we're inviting our older children, school age, high school, junior high, or elementary school, to older elementary school students to come up. Also, Any more kids out there who would like to come up?
You don't have to, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the blessing will be taken in the entire congregation. And now, not the kids are starting school, right? But there may be some among you who are starting something new, and you would like a blessing. So, yes. Oh, college-age students, too. And most importantly, something I don't think I remembered when we did this last year or the year before, and those who are schooled online also, we want to make sure to include you in this blessing. So if somebody's starting something new, come on forward for your blessing. Wonderful. Okay, so we were asking all of you, because we will all be participating in this blessing, right? Because we are, as human beings, we are all capable of blessing one another. So, as we start this blessing, those of us who are bestowing blessing, as the pictures up there show with Reverend Margalie, Reverend Kierstin. Yes, you are, yes. Oh, perfect. I didn't even, on this side too, you too. All right, and then those receiving blessings, and here, if you would put your hand up like this, like somebody's giving you something, and so you're doing this. All right, okay, so, Judith?
All right. Maya, may I put my hand on your head? Okay, thank you. We, members and friends of the First Unitarian Church of Orlando,
Well, okay. We bless you, students, teachers, administrators, all those who are beginning and new endeavors.
we bless. We weren't anticipating that.
So we will have a part for you to say. Right now, Judith and I will say something. This is such a beautiful blessing. Go ahead, Judith.
We bless you, and we bless the shields you carry and wear, your book bags, your backpacks, computers, and your masks, your glasses, your book bag tags.
And we bless the cars, wheels, feet that transport you.
We bless you with our compassion for the difficult days that are bound to happen.
We bless you with cheers for all the successes you will have. And now, members of the congregation, we have a line for you. As you start this transformative year, we at UU send you the love and support of our blessing.
May you be so blessed. Amen. And blessed be. Now, what I'm going to do is...
Don't move yet.
Don't move yet. Hold on. So what I'm doing, I'm giving the welcome team a warning that we're going to need the backpack tags. Will you take them back there? Thank you. So what I'm going to need now is for our bridge to be made, and we're going to invite all those who have been blessed to go through the bridge of love and support and feel the blessing that you have been given, and to join us today back in the classroom as you're comfortable. So you can join us and go through the bridge and join us wait at the labyrinth, and I'll be right there to lead you to class.
fun. Good morning. I'm Rose Byler, a member of the Board of Trustees here at First Unitarian. We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It's one of our spiritual values, which sustains the life and ministries of our church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Our Share the Plate partner this month for August is Harbor House. The center provides safe shelter, a 24-hour confidential crisis hotline, counseling, emotional support, and legal advocacy for survivors of domestic abuse and their children. Please use the link in the newsletter or on the screen to donate directly to them. And please let one you know that you've donated. The offering will now be collected. And please note that you can also give using the link.
Just a simple role that I can play. A new hope, something to convince me to renew hope. A new day, bright enough to help me find my way. A new chance, one that maybe has a touch of romance. Where can it be? The chance for me. A new dream. I have one I know that many do dream. I would like to see that overdue dream. I can work to make the dream come true. A new love. I know that I believe in true love. Even so, although I never knew love, still I feel that one dream is the truth. A new world. This one thing I want to ask of you, world, once before it's time to say adieu, world. One sweet chance to prove the cynics wrong. New life, more and more I'm sure as I go through life, just to play the game and to pursue life, just to share its pleasure and belong. That's what I've been here for all along. Each day's a brand new life. Brand new
Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
I love all those sweet faces. This is the time in our service that we set aside for the deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or help with, or if you have a joy that you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows read each Sunday during worship. You can send an email to joysandconcerns@orlandouu.org. You can also fill out a card at our registration table before the service and hand it to an usher. And after the meditation, we will invite all who wish to come forward to participate in our candle lighting ritual. Bring your joys and your sorrows as we come together. Come as you are. Your whole self is welcome in this sacred space that we create together. This morning we have a joy and a thank you to all the wonderful volunteers and contributors that made the one-day summer camp for New Image Youth Center and 1U Kids such a success. We have a concern this week. Many of you know that our state prosecutor, Monique Worrell, was removed from office, democratically elected office, and Joanna offers that she is okay. She works in that office and wants you to know things are very uncertain, and all of those directly and negatively impacted could use your thoughts. Finally, we have a concern that our beloved Nancy Kelman is not able to join us in person any longer in worship. She would appreciate cards and your visits. We are to know she is on home hospice. From our larger community, as we begin a new school year here in Florida, we hold all our students, staff, and teachers in care and love. We especially offer prayers of protection and courage for transgender and non-binary students, staff, and teachers, queer and gender non-conforming students, staff, and teachers, and those in queer and trans families, as well as all impacted by new and ignorant laws and policies restricting access to bathrooms, accurate names and pronouns, and the freedom to fully be oneself. We also hold in care and love those students, staff, and teachers most impacted by new laws and policies restricting access to books and libraries, accurate history, and honest and deep learning about race, culture, and identity. As these new and frightening laws and policies go into effect this week, we know there are many rightly feeling anxious, afraid, unsure, angry, unseen, and unwelcome in their places of learning. We know that there are many working to figure out how to leave these places or our community entirely. We also know there are many who are not able to leave or who choose to stay and fight for their right to exist and learn and teach without fear. As a community guided by love, we commit ourselves to being a place of respite for these beloveds, to honoring truth and authenticity in all forms, and to doing everything in our power to change these unjust and narrow-minded laws and policies. Our hearts are also broken by the news of devastating fires in Hawaii and the ways that human-driven climate change and extractive capitalism have literally fueled and multiplied the deadly impact of these disasters. We send prayers for recovery and healing of these people and this land, and we recommit ourselves to the protection and renewal of the whole of our Mother Earth and her peoples. Finally, speaking of climate change, it's hot out there, y'all. The heat here impacts many people, especially our homeless population here in Orlando. We hold them in our hearts and do what we can in our circles and beyond to change the way that people are treated who live in our city and to change the way that we interact with our planet. We also remember to drink water. For all the joys and the sorrows of this community shared today and those held close to our hearts, let's pray, let's celebrate, and let's send each other healing energy. I invite you now into a posture of openness. Maybe for you is by turning up your hands or rolling your shoulders back and opening your chest. Maybe this is by closing your eyes or bowing your head. As I'm speaking, I invite you to channel your love and energy with mine, cycling out toward those in need of our prayer and inward back to yourself. Spirit of love and of life, be with our children, teens, and grown-ups as they begin new school years, new learning, new endeavors, as they journey out from or alongside us. Fill their hearts with courage and strength and tenderness. Help them to tell their truth about who they are and all that they see. Help us to listen in a way that lets them know they are heard. Be with all of us beginning something new, a new chapter of life, a new commitment, a new way of being, a new protocol, a new rule. For new beginnings surround us constantly, whether we know they are beginnings or not. Be with everyone who is looking forward to what lies ahead. Be with everyone who is nervous about what lies ahead. Be with anyone who is beginning something they have chosen, longed for, envisioned in the finest of detail. Be with everyone who is beginning something kicking and screaming, not happy about a beginning, clinging to the past or the known or the comfortable. Be with all of us whose hearts break for the backpacks and journeys not taken up this year, for the beginnings that weren't and may not be. Help us to reach out, using our minds and bodies, words and energy, trusting our wise and growing hearts to truly make our classrooms, workplaces, homes, churches, hearts and spirits, our whole world, safe and nurturing places for all. Safe places to begin when we are ready, the journey of something new. I also want to highlight this morning the flowers behind me, provided in loving memory of Sherry Rondi's brother Barry, and the joy of Yvonne's 67th birthday tomorrow, with the great gifts of a successful surgery and great test results. Yvonne and Joan are deeply grateful for the concern and well wishes received from so many of you in this caring community. Spirit of life and love, fill us with courage. Help us to know that wherever we go in love. May it be so, and amen. Now you are invited to come forward if you wish and light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness, or hope as Aubrey plays. Feel free to hum or sing along.
comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
For those of us who have grown up in the US-American context, it might sometimes feel like the year starts in August. Or for those strange northerners among us, right after Labor Day. Whenever the new year begins, this is what I'm saying, January 1st, yada, 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 the calendar year. But for me, my internal calendar still says fall is the start. I know it seems laughable to call this fall, but stay with me. It's when I think about starting new things. To this day, more than 12 years since my last day of school. Even if we haven't been in formal schooling for a long time, even if we were homeschooled or unschooled or private schooled, it's impossible to ignore the strong pull in the culture around us that is the US-American public school year. Here in Orange County, our public schools started this past Thursday. As a parent of a first grader, it felt good to high-five a friend yesterday and say, "We made it through the first week," even though it had only been 2 days. The start of a new year in this school-centered calendar can bring lots of feelings. I recall for myself a mottled mix of excitement, possibility, nervousness, anxiety, hope. What might this new year bring? What would I learn? Who would I become? What should I wear on the first day? My 5-year-old was surprised to hear that new school years always made me nervous too. When she got out of bed the night before school, 20 minutes after we had said goodnight, to let me know that her tummy was hurting. Every year I was nervous, I said, never went away. A preaching professor of mine in seminary offered these wise words to me that I still recall on mornings when I'm leading worship. She said, "I still get nervous every time I preach. I've been doing it for 50 years, and I believe that nervousness is a good sign. It means that I care deeply about what I'm about to do. When I stop being nervous is when I know it'll be time to stop preaching." I was nervous this morning, and I know that this matters to me. My kid was nervous for school because it matters to her, something important that she cares deeply about. Does this happen for you when you start something new? Or maybe when you begin again with something that you've done many times before but have stopped for a while? Those flutters in the belly, a little faster heartbeat, jittery feeling in your body. Beginnings can be moments of uncertainty and excitement, tinged with risk. There's something holy there, I think, in that first step, that first try, that first moment, the mixing of possibility and uncertainty, a sort of liminal space in between the old and the new where anything can happen. I'm grateful that this religious community takes the time to mark these kind of moments together, because they are important. It's essential that our children, our siblings, our spouses, our friends, ourselves, anyone beginning a new school year or another kind of new endeavor, right now knows that this community is with them, alongside them for that beginning, and always. Knowing you are not alone when you're doing something uncertain and risky can make an important difference. This is especially true in this particular beginning, this new public school year here in Florida. As you have heard about here in worship over the last couple months, and as I referenced in our prayer today, the start of this school year brings with it a host of new oppressive policies and laws that impact everyone in our public school systems. Because I have a child in public school, last week I received a notice of policy changes here in Orange County related to those new laws, so I would be informed about how our public school district will be implementing them. There are new policies that restrict bathroom usage, that take away a student's ability to have their teacher use the right pronoun for that student, and that require parents to fill out a form that gives permission for a teacher to call a child anything but the name listed on their birth certificate, even if the child no longer uses that name in any other setting of their life, even if the change is just to use a nickname instead. These policies use definitions of gender and sex that are outdated and biologically inaccurate. They ostracize and disrespect queer and trans students and staff. And they are vague enough to make everyone anxious about exactly what they can and can't do. Many people will understandably choose to err on the side of caution, which means they err on the side of making queer and trans people feel invisible at best, or even put them in danger of harm. I think this is part of the goal on the part of those governing here in Florida, to make marginalized people question their right to be themselves, to be proud, to take up space, and to make everyone else feel like they can't support or help others without taking huge risks. I was picking our kid up from school late last year as our legislature was pushing through an expansion to the Don't Say Gay bill that they had passed previously, an expansion which would now move those prohibitions from pre-K to 8th grade and include both sexuality and gender-related restrictions. Now we could call it Don't Say Gay or They. I started chatting up a queer couple who was also there to pick up a kid from school, their niece. They were visiting from another state and asked me how it was to be queer here in Florida in these scary times. They told me they had almost not come to do the pickup, that they were not sure if they would be allowed to pick up their niece from school because they were queer. I quickly assured them that that was not the case and that we, have every right to be there. But it broke my heart to know that they had questioned themselves and their right to be in that space as queer folks. And it made me so angry because I know that this is exactly what the folks who wrote and voted for those laws want. For us to shrink, to hide, to disappear entirely. The same goes for new laws in our state targeting the teaching of accurate Black history, or criminalizing undocumented people and those who support them, or banning stories and texts that teach love, celebrate diversity, and challenge oppressive narratives. Of course, we know that homophobia, trans antagonism, racism, xenophobia, and all their terrible oppressive friends have always been in our public schools. I went to high school here, I can tell you that. Many marginalized children and adults have suffered anxiety, fear, and erasure in our school system since forever. But this reality is not new, but it is different and particular and very scary. So what are we called to do this week, in this new beginning? As the school year starts and we or our loved ones are thrust into moments of frightening uncertainty or deep risk, well, the first thing we do is make spaces that are affirming, loving, safer for people to be. Spaces like our backpack blessing this morning, to say to people, especially marginalized people, we see you. You matter to us. We honor you, just who you are, and our love goes out into the world with you wherever you go. And we work on making those spaces, our spaces, even more radically inclusive than they already are. We do what we need to do to make sure that we live the welcome we preach, from our practices of hospitality to the words we use when we speak, to the accessibility of our spaces and the ongoing learning to continue to push our growing edges. I'm very proud of the work that this church has done in that realm, and we know there's plenty more to do. The next thing to do is to be out in the world, being loud and proud about our values, affirming, supporting, and boosting the words and works of the communities most negatively impacted by these changes, and taking every chance we have to shift the laws and policies of this place through all of our current means of minimizing harm. That looks like voting, that looks like protesting, that looks like calling our elected officials, going door to door to talk with our neighbors, showing up to school board and PTA meetings, signing petitions, so much more. And finally, perhaps most importantly, we need to take the time to imagine a different world. What would it look like to live in a world that is just and equitable and loving and in alignment with nature? To live in a liberated world where all are free and every person is able to be their truest self, grounded in community, connected to that which is larger than all of us. A friend and colleague of mine, Dr. Janice View, talks about how none of us have ever lived in that world. We don't know what it looks like, smells like, sounds like, tastes like, feels like. And so the work to imagine and then create that world, to build it, is an inherently creative project, requiring play and experimentation and wild curiosity. As the incomparable Tracy Chapman sang earlier, the whole world's broke and it ain't worth fixing. It's time to start all over, make a new beginning. Sounds nice, but she's advocating for a whole new system, a completely different paradigm than the one we live in now. This is not about reform. This is about redefining the world as we know it. She's not here for incremental change or new leaders stuck in the same broken system, a real new beginning. Or perhaps we could call it a becoming, a process of digging deep for the truth that lies within the heart of it all, and then blossoming into the fullness of that truth. The work of our lifetimes and perhaps our children's lifetimes. We could call it an evolution, a revolution, for new beginnings also force us to face ourselves and make decisions about who we will become now. What might this new beginning bring? What will we learn? Who will we become? What will we wear on the first day? Irish poet John O'Donoghue writes, "Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you." Whatever new beginning awaits you today, know that this community blesses you, loves you, and is alongside on the journey. Whatever becoming is an unfurling around all of us, let your voice join the chorus of those insisting on love, authenticity, safety, and freedom for all. And when you are ready, take the risk and lean in to a radical imagination of what could be possible if we work together to start all over. I invite you to join me in a responsive litany called A Litany for Becoming from a group called Infleshed. I'll read some lines and then I'll pause and raise my hands like this, and we'll all respond together. This is loving and being loved. Ready? To become is a lifelong process. Nothing is constant, not even the self. We evolve in the midst of narratives meant only for some, and ways of being made narrow by fear and power. We must then have the courage to listen to the truth of our own lives, to the wisdom that comes from within, responding without resistance or the need to control, but with welcome and curiosity. This is what ensures our becoming is an unfolding of our truest self. This lifelong labor cannot be carried out alone. It requires help from friends and lovers, family, and creaturely companions who bear witness to what makes us come alive and say to us, listen, look, feel, pay attention to that. This is loving and being loved. Telling the stories, sharing in the memories, giving thanks for the relationships, understandings, and experience past that have shaped us to this day. This is loving and being loved. Celebrating new beginnings that excite, holding risks together, leaning into unknowns with the promises of support and companionship. This is loving and being loved. Listening to the future calling uniquely to each of us in the midst of all of life's noise, helping one another find our place in the shared labor of collective life, supporting each other in what the world's ache is asking from us. This is loving and being loved. To say for the first time, this is who I am. This is the truth of my body. This is what I know about myself. This is my name. And this is where my path is leading me. And to have it heard, to have it received, have it affirmed, and then to say it again and again as we change and the world changes, and to have each proclamation greeted with an open-armed embrace. This is loving and being loved. There is no me without you. We shape one another. The sacred that birthed us weaves our lives together so that we can only find ourselves through shared becoming. For my journey and all its winding ways, for yours, for all the saints who labored for what is, all the kin whose lives made ours possible, for all those yet to come, for whom living our truths today will mean breaking open possibilities for them tomorrow. We pause, we give thanks, we acknowledge. This is loving and being loved. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1017, Building a New Way. The words will be projected on the screen.
Building a new way.
closing this morning with words excerpted from a poem called Blessed, When the World Has Fallen Apart by Vanessa Titang. The world has fallen apart, though this is not the first time. It's just one of the times where it is all too much. Intentionally crafted by mortal powers that be, not ordained by divinity, weakened but not dead, I remind myself. Let us not forget, never forget this moment, or all that has brought us here in time and space, remembering past, present, and that we are not done. This is always just beginning. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. May we be our descendants' bravest heroes, keepers of the flame, knowing we are the ones we have been waiting for. Thus, let's go. And in the words of our own Reverend Margalie, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins. I invite you to take action this week toward the goal of being our descendants' bravest heroes. One way we can do this as a community is by each choosing a tangible way to be visible about our values. How can you show the world around you what is dearest to your heart and what and whom you are willing to fight for? One example, our 1U Justice Council has many Progress Pride flags like this one here for sale at their table today in coffee hour, and can take orders for more once they run out. Perhaps you already have a flag like this or something like it at your home, your car, somewhere else, but I would especially encourage those least impacted in this current political climate, straight folks, cisgender folks, white folks, US citizens, economically comfortable folks, to take a risk and be really bold about your solidarity, whether it is with this flag or another overt symbol of our progressive values. It needs to be abundantly clear that there are lots of people here in Orlando and around our state that do not agree with what's happening and are committed to our collective liberation. Knowing that we are the ones we have been waiting for. Let's go.
And now, please say these words with me as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.